So with the hot topic of this two wonderful words, which is self-love, do you feel it's important? I've got my version, of course. We're here to hear your one primarily, but do you feel that it's important reference to the fuel that we put in our bodies? Because, for example, do you think we should pay attention to what we consume? Will that affect what's going to come out?
Yes. So we are living organisms, and we require the consumption of other life forms to sustain ourselves. This is just the way we are. So this fact doesn't bring us any responsibility or shame. It's good to be aware and conscious of what we consume, but that is becoming harder and harder these days. Every organism that finds its way into a supermarket has been significantly altered. The genome has been altered. Whether it's a plant or an animal, that makes no difference. Again, it's important to consider that plants also have sentience. They're the oldest life form on the surface of the earth, and their intelligence is different from, let's say, mammals or warm-blooded organisms. But regardless, if anybody has had the experience of walking in a forest, you'll recognize the effect that these sentient beings have on us. Or even going further, plant medicine that is used in many shamanic traditions. This is the spirit of that organism coming in and teaching you and healing you and giving gifts to you. So the sentience and intelligence of plants cannot be denied either. So we must eat. It's good to be aware of what you eat. Try to reduce harm, but in this industrial world, it's almost impossible. It's okay to go on extreme diets every now and again for the purpose of purging and purifying the body. Extreme diets from complete water fasting or becoming completely vegan, or on the other extreme, going completely carnivore. Each of these have a purpose and they do benefit the body, although only in a short period of time. Um, the thing that we can do with our bodies and our food is to be grateful for the gift of sustenance. You see, our ancestors who were hunter gatherers, they had these elaborate rituals when they would find food, whether it was for a hunt. There was a ritual in how to end the animal's life without causing it undue suffering. And then they would all kneel down, touch the animal, and thank it for the gift, because it was very much a gift of life. If that animal wouldn't gift its flesh, the whole tribe would starve. You see, that was very real for these noble ancestors. But it's the same now. Although our industrial methods are far from perfect, that gratitude still has an amazing effect. Gratitude for life. So you thank this life form for the gift of nourishment and bless it. Bless it and also intentionally heal it from the suffering that it had to endure so that it finds its way as a meal in front of you. And also pledge to share with it your soul experience as a human, because again, souls come into these vessels, whether it's a cow, a sheep, a chicken, or um, a, a corn plant, wheat plant. These all have their sentience, experiencing. So they're all aspects of the prime creator. So sharing our experience as a human, what it's like to be a human and consume this, because the wheel goes round and round. If we don't behave well as humans, we might reincarnate as one of these organisms just to experience this. So good manners, gratitude for the gift of life, and healing the animal. These have amazing effects, not just on the food, but also on the medication that mostly is derived from the plant kingdom. You're muted. Yeah.
Thank you. Coming back to things like alcohol and sugar, I mean, obviously, it would be what if people consumed a very small trace or volume? Do you think that's pretty acceptable, like a glass of red wine now and again? Is that harmful in any way, would you say?
It, there's no right or wrong answer here. But if you
Right.
please allow me to share what my understanding is, my humble understanding is, health is basically the result of balance.
Yeah.
So excess of anything is going to push the body or the energy out of balance, and that eventually is going to result in illness or disease. So tiny amounts of sugar is not enough to mess the balance of, let's say, insulin in the body. Tiny amounts of alcohol, it doesn't have the significant potency to cause liver damage. But please consider, even too much water has the potential to shut down the kidneys.
Yeah.
So as long as we maintain balance, moderation, nothing is a big deal. We discussed with each other the natural lifespan of humanity, which is artificially reduced to, let's say, an average of 75. This
Yeah.
design has the potential to live for centuries, if not millennia, and legends of this exist in all major cultures. Um, the most significant and reliable is the Egyptian list of kings, where it seemed that some of these guys ruled for 800 years, 1200 years, and then suddenly something happens, reducing the lifespan to 60, 70 years. And that's reflected in the cartouches of the dynasties in Egypt. So that's reliable. We know these Egyptians, they took excellent records, but also every other culture. So within the 75 years where the genetic time bomb goes boom, and one thing or another basically takes out the vessel, liberates us from the body, it seems that we are incredibly resilient creatures. As long as we don't take things too far, everything should be okay.
That's great, brother. You mentioned water. And if I can just elaborate a little bit on that, because I've done a little bit of personal research myself on this area of water. The thing that works well with me at the moment, I drink negative charged water, and I've been told off by a lot of people because I've got a distiller basically. So I distill my water, excuse me, and then I apply a bit of Celtic salt with all the minerals in there. And I find that works really well. I mean, but I've also heard stories like, the pH should be pretty high. I mean, I've heard cases like 9.5, and you're supposed to check your urine every so often to see how acidic it is and stuff like that. Do you think that people generally should go home to town with, like really getting really looking at it so closely, even as far as testing the urine to see what's going on inside our vessels? Do you think we should go that far to investigate?
I think we should expand our point of view from the physical nature of water
Yeah.
to the elemental nature of water. And the elemental forces are um, basically superior to atomic forces. They're the primordial energies that allow condensation of matter into atoms and molecules, and then down into our physical bodies, everything we see around us. So, water is an intelligent force, a primordial force of creation. It is intelligent, and it has a monumental amount of memory. And so it affects the vessel not in just physical terms, but energetic terms, most certainly. So, water that has the memory of slowly moving up through the bedrock into a fresh spring is absorbing all these nourishing energies from the earth. So, spring water is known to be amazing. Um, but the energetic modification of water before we consume it is most certainly possible. Now, let's start with the physical part of it. The acidity of the water, the pH level, how much hardness the water has, how many different impurities exist in the water. There's a big topic floating around of fluoride in the water that has negative effects. So many chemicals that don't get completely removed in the purification process. These are all true, but it wouldn't be appropriate to delve too much into this. The negative energetic effects can be easily transmuted and removed from water, um, creating ordered water. There's a famous experiment where a Japanese scientist, I don't recall the gentleman's name, performed this experiment with water and then freezing it, speaking above one sample the words "I love you," and upon another sample the energy of "I hate you." Now, as this water freezes and crystallizes, the crystals with love, they form perfectly, really beautifully, and the other water forms incomplete and jumbled up crystals, damaged crystals. So this intention that you give to the water, this is also a big part of Ayurvedic ancient Sanskrit medicine. They drink out of copper vessels. They put a little leaf on the surface of the water. The way they hold this little chalice, copper chalice, before they drink it, they do a little prayer upon the water, bestowing that energy of love and healing. Funny enough, in the Norse tradition, the Viking tradition, the symbol for water, laguz, is interpreted as renewal and healing. It's also made its way into modern homeopathic practices where the energy of a certain medication is distilled into the water. There's no trace elements of the medication or the molecule of that medication, but it still retains the energy. Very effective practice. So this is available to all of us. Before you drink water, show this intelligent force, primordial force, gratitude. Give it love and give it the intention. As I absorb it and you become part of my vessel, you continue this healing and clearing energy. You will have incredible, incredible effects on your health.
Thank you, brother.